What is cracking, everybody? James Coe here with you, aka the Sleeper King. We are talking about post waiver wire pickups. Free agent pool is now open. Who can you go pick up off that free agent pool to potentially help you on your fantasy team? Again, if you guys have questions, obviously throw them into the chat. We'll get to them as I see them. Whether you're on the YouTube side, whether you're on the app, man, we're going to definitely try to get to as many chat questions as possible for sure. I hope you guys are appreciating the fit. Today, I'm rocking the SummerSlam, uh, the SummerSlam drip with the old school Ultimate Warrior Macho Man Randy Savage on the front. Anyways, all right, I got quite a few players actually here. Unfortunately, I don't have any running backs, y'all. I do feel bad about that because I always feel like, oh man, I wish I could help some people with the running back position, but you know how it is, man. It's dry out there, bro. Anyways, let's start at the quarterback position. Let's talk about Mac Jones. Just 3% rostered right now. I know most of the headlines and attention has been paid to Jake Browning, which I get. I totally understand. He's got, Jamar Chase, he's got T. Higgins, and this guy is somebody who has historically put together, good games when Joe Burrow has missed time, right? So that is, I mean, you know what's crazy? In my 2QB league, Jake Browning was going for literally 100% of fab budget. In multiple, I'm not even talking about like one league, like multiple leagues where it's a 2QB format. I don't get me wrong, I bid a lot. I bid 71, thinking, okay, 71 is a chunky amount. That was like not even third best. There was like a bunch of 90s and like multiple people just bid 100% of their fab to go get Jake Browning, which is crazy. Anyways, Mac Jones, just 3% rostered right now. He's got Arizona and Jacksonville next, and I think both these defenses are not very good, especially against the pass. And maybe in particular Arizona more so than Jacksonville, but I think both pass defenses are pretty weak. So Mac Jones is just 3% rostered. I think is a really interesting streamer this week and potentially beyond. Let's see what this guy does with Brock Purdy on the shelf. You think Javonte Williams is worth keeping or trade high? I think he's worth keeping. I literally just wrote a piece about talking about Javonte Williams, and yeah, I do think he's a keep for sure. Mac Jones on third downs in his 49ers debut looked pretty good overall. And again, this is a former first round pick. This is a former lottery pick. This is a former guy that played at an extremely high level in New England. Obviously, they didn't support him in New England with wide receivers or functional coaching. So he ends up in San Francisco. We've seen this story before, guys, right? We've seen this story before where Kyle Shanahan takes, a reclamation quarterback and transforms them into something else, right? I mean, shoot, if you really want to take a look, I mean, Sam Darnold went to San Francisco too, right before he ended up with Minnesota. Could we be seeing some kind of revival here with Mac Jones? Maybe, possibly. I really like the tools that he brings, especially in this Kyle Shanahan offense, where, again, you got to be pretty good throwing in breaking routes, and there's no question. I think Mac Jones is throwing pretty well on these in breaking routes, and I thought even just coming cold off the bench, I thought this guy was looking pretty good in terms of timing and touch. So overall, I like Mac Jones a lot. So there you go. Okay, I am assuming that Troy Franklin is gone, but when I look, he's less than 10% rostered right now. Right, the last time I checked, 6% rostership for Troy Franklin. Now that I'm sure those numbers are going to go up, but if he is around, I would say definitely let's go pick this guy up. Right now, he's taking on the Chargers, which is less than ideal. But that being said, I think again high usage out of the slot. That's what caught my eye was the fact that Troy Franklin played primarily out of the slot there for Denver. Right. And if we know anything about Sean Payton's offense is that he utilizes regularly speed slot guys. Right? He loves these speed slot guys. Troy Franklin, I think for me is a stretch slot that can absolutely get downfield and do some of the things that Sean Payton wants to get done on the offense. You just dropped Cole. Who? Nah, I can't read that, brother. Both these top two not available in your league. Brother, I get you, man. Hey, listen, I am talking to the folks out there, the general populace. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, and I get it. Some of y'all going to get frustrated. Be like, hey, these guys are not available on my waiver wire. I understand. I just showed you the rostership percentage, man. Matt Jones, 3% rostered. Troy Franklin, 6% rostered. So, hey, listen, I'm trying to help the most people possible. I could give you the deepest of deep sleepers if you want. That's not this stream, though. That's not this stream. So, anyways, so again, Troy Franklin playing primarily out of the slot. 9 targets, 8 grabs, 89 yards, and a touchdown. He had 24 PPR points. Did Troy Franklin? So again, I am buying this seemingly out of nowhere performance for Troy Franklin because of his role in the slot. I do think that Sean Payton will find a role for him. And what I like about it is that it doesn't impede on Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton is going to be very important for this Denver Broncos offense, just like he was last year, right? But if they could get activated, somebody in the slot. By the way, college quarterback Troy Franklin, Bo Nix, let's go. There's some built-in chemistry right there. I like that too, right? So there is actually a lot to like about Troy Franklin, especially working out of the slot. So again, pretty excited about him overall. All right, Wan'Dale Robinson, another slot player. He's plays for the Giants, obviously. He's taken on Kansas City, 25% rostered. Now, this is somebody who in most competitive leagues might be gone, but I would check. I would check the free agent pool. Let's see if Wan'Dale Robinson is around. Obviously, he's piggybacking off of, is this his best game ever? Probably his best game ever. Right, 28.2 fantasy points last week, 10 targets, 8 grabs, 142 through the air, and a touchdown. Right, but he also had a double-digit PPR performance there in week number 1. 8 targets, 6 grabs for 55 there in week number 1. The usage is there. I mean, 8 targets week 1, 10 targets in week number 2. And can I also say this? This guy has been a PPR scam merchant for years. His entire career has been built on the PPR scam, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, this guy's just catching checkdowns all day long. I mean, nothing beyond 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Now, all of a sudden, he's working downfield because he's got moonshot Russ. That's crazy. You love to see it. The air yards are there. The targets are there. Wan'Dale Robinson taking on Kansas City. The matchup is really, really intriguing as well. Kansas City gave up the 3rd most fantasy points to slot receivers last year. Last year, they gave up the 3rd most fantasy points to slot receivers, chat. You know what? In 2025, they've given up the 2nd most fantasy points to slot receivers this year. So the matchup is there. It's a tricky little matchup. And I just wanted to highlight this. If you've got Wan'Dale Robinson and you're in a pinch, I don't mind throwing this guy out there as a potential deep sleeper play this week, Wan'Dale Robinson. But I can't buy PK. I cannot buy a PS5, brother. Sorry, bro. Can't do that. All right. This is from Jams Guy. I just dropped Colston Loveland for Jatavion Sanders. Who else? Who else are good tight ends? It's dry out there. You know what's funny, man? I actually think the tight end this year is looking somewhat decent because you just talked about Jatavion Sanders. I think again, if y'all are part of this stream, y'all know that I am a huge fan of Jatavion Sanders. So yeah, I think he's out there. Juwan Johnson obviously was a hot waiver wire ad. Tight end actually is not as barren, is not quite as barren as it was before. I am interested in Mason Taylor too, by the way, in New York for the Jets. He's a rookie, so obviously it's going to take a little bit of time, but don't be surprised starting like week, I want to say like 7 or 8, if Mason Taylor, who is a really good athlete at LSU, starts to make a little bit of an impact there for the Jets. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, we're moving on. We've got Mac Jones, Troy Franklin, Wan'Dale Robinson. Dontavian Wicks. I don't understand why folks are not picking up Dontavian Wicks more. Again, last time I checked, 1% rostership for Dontavian Wicks, and he is clearly, you don't see wide receiver handcuffs too much, but Jaden Reed broke his clavicle. He's out for a couple months. Dontavian Wicks is clearly the slot receiver / handcuff to Jaden Reed. But the thing I like about it the most is the fact that he has inside-outside versatility, right? He's a primary slot guy for Green Bay, But again, he does have that outside versatility. Now, he played 35% of his snaps this year on the outside, 65% lined up inside as a slot guy, right? 35% outside. That's not a trivial number. That's not an insignificant amount. Because when we start talking about two wide receiver sets, can Dontavian Wicks be out there? I think so. I think so. Romeo Dobbs is going to get a boost. And I think the fantasy community really, really, really wants it to be Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden, to me, is not there yet. He's not ready. Coaching staff is telling you he's not ready. He's not out there. He's not playing a lot of snaps, is Matthew Golden. Who is it? It's Dontavian Wicks. I mean, that's the thing. The coaching staff is telling you it's Dontavian Wicks. The fantasy community is trying to tell you it's Matthew Golden. It's not Matthew Golden right now. Now, talk to me in week 5, 6. Maybe it's Matthew Golden. But for right now, and again, we can't be worried about week 5, 6 in the fantasy streets. Hey, listen, I got a squad that's 0-2 right now. 0-2. You think I care about week 5, 6? My fantasy season might be done if I'm worried about week 5, 6. We got to worry about right now. What we got here in week number 3. Dontavian Wicks, I think, is a startable asset, deep sleeper asset for you, widely available in most fantasy leagues. And again, he came through, right? 6 targets, 4 grabs for 44. Is that a huge line? No, of course it's not. But 6 targets is a notable amount. That's more than acceptable for a wide receiver 3. Flex play. More than acceptable. Again, do the hands concern? Of course the hands concern me. But this guy knows how to get open. And he's built up a little bit of chemistry with Jordan Love. Let's see if he can't build on that. I don't understand why Dontavian Wicks right now is not getting more buzz than he should. All right, this is from Jalix851. Drop one, Ridley, Sutton, or Pittman. Ridley, Sutton, or Pittman. Well, we're definitely not dropping Pittman. Pittman could give you 1,100 yards this year. I am a little bit worried about Ridley because Alec Iomanner is starting to come on here, and the Tennessee offense just doesn't have a ton going for it. This is interesting, though. You've got 3 really good players. I'm assuming, Jalix, that you're in like a 10-team league because none of these guys should be droppable. If you're in a 12-team league, Ridley, Sutton, or Pittman, none of those dudes should be droppable at all. Like, at all. You know what I mean? But that being said, if I had to absolutely pick one, I might pick Ridley. I just don't know if the volume is going to be there overall. All right. How do we feel about Kyle Monangai? I feel pretty good about Kyle Monangai. I don't know how much work he's going to get. The coaching staff keeps telling you that they're going to get him more work, and they don't get him more work. Let's be a little bit patient. I think Chicago's offensive line is still a work in progress. Talent-wise, they're a lot better than they were last year. But I think it's still a little bit of a work in progress. So let's just see. I think Monangai is a spec ad at best. That's it. That is it. Austin Slaughter, man, good to see you in the chat, brother. Drop Kayshon Boutte for Franklin or Wicks. Yes. I think the more that Stephon Diggs gets involved in New England, I think the less we will see of Kayshon Boutte. And he's a very volatile, as we've seen. Week 1 was great. Week number 2, not so great. Right? Wicks or Dubs overall? JAD? Dubs. No question. Jordan Love loves Romeo Dubs. I mean, he loves him. So, yeah, no, Dubs over Wicks for sure. But, yeah, you're talking about Austin Slaughter. You're talking about dropping Kayshon Boutte for Franklin or Wicks. Yeah, I would drop Boutte for Franklin. I'm more confident in Franklin's role and potential to get you bigger weeks. That would be my thought. But I do like Dontavian Wicks a lot too, though. But yeah, I think either one, Kayshon Boutte, can be dropped for either Franklin or Wicks. Maui, what's up, man? How long is Purdy going to be out? Don't know yet. But it sounds like multiple weeks, right? So again, Mac Jones is a player that we should be paying attention to, and is a really, really good streaming option, I think, for the next 2 weeks. If he gets that game time. All right. So we talked about Dontavian Wicks. I got one more wide receiver here for you, and that's Jalen Coker. 8% roster right now, and he's eligible for the IR. So the sneaky move, chat, is this. You go and pick up Jalen Coker, immediately go drop him into the IR slot, right? If you've got the room. So again, this move is only for those folks who have an active IR slot available. But you go pick up Jalen Coker, you stash him, you stick him in the IR, then you go pick up somebody else, right? Like that's maybe you pick up one of these other dudes that I'm talking about in Dontavian Wicks and Wandale Robinson or Troy Franklin or whatever, right? But you go pick up Jalen Coker first, you add him to the IR, then you go pick up somebody else. Bottom line is, man, Ted McMillan is the real deal. He is 100% the real deal, but he's also 100% their outside X receiver. When Jalen Coker comes back, I think he's going to get a lot more work than Xavier Legette. Legette is not it, bro. I don't know. And yo, I love XL. I love the person. Like I want to love the player. This guy can't catch a ball right now, man. 15 targets, 8 yards. He had -2 yards last week. Xavier Legette. How? How do you have -2 yards last week? He has a brutal 26.7% catch rate. 26.7% catch rate on 15 targets. That is bonkers. There is only so many times the coaching staff can go put this guy out there and say, all right, go catch a ball before Jalen Coker comes back. Hunter Renfrow, I think, is going to have a bigger role. But you just can't keep running Xavier Legette out there and hoping for change here. It's just not happening. And don't get me wrong, I think Dave Canales is putting him in spots to succeed. It's not like they're saying, hey, go win me a go ball, 30, 40 yards downfield. Nope. We're talking in breaking routes. Can you just win a simple drag route? Can't do it right now. Can't do it. And the crazy thing is he's actually getting open. And so that part you like. I love the fact that he's actually getting open, but can't catch anything. The crazy thing is, chat, when he was at South Carolina, dude, this guy was a really good player in terms of contested catch. He can't catch a contested ball to save his life right now. XL is in the woods, man. Like he is lost. He needs some breadcrumbs to come back because he is lost right now. 15 targets, 8 yards for Xavier Legette. That's why I'm saying go add Jalen Coker. By the way, if you have Xavier Legette, you can drop him, man. I'm not worried about it. 100%. But yeah, I would add and stash Jalen Coker. All right, let's talk about some streaming defenses. I got 2 streaming defenses, and then I'll just dedicate myself to the chat here, man. All right, 1, it's Seattle. Seattle DST taking on New Orleans. This is a defense that was widely picked up off the waiver wire, but you might as well go check. Again, 29% rostership for Seattle DST. And I would say in most competitive 12-team leagues, they're probably picked up, but you never know. You never know. Shoot, I'm in a really competitive 14-team league, and they were available. So they're out there. 29% rostership is Seattle. They're taking on New Orleans. Spencer Rattler obviously loves to turn the ball over. And that offense it's fine. It's fine. I don't think it's great, but it's fine. Their offensive line is going through it right now. I think a lot of sacks and interceptions could be on the table. And the bottom line is this, man, Mike McDonald has these boys humming. Mike McDonald has Seattle's defense looking pretty good. Obviously, they've got a little bit of an issue there at outside corner. Tariq Woolen doesn't look. What happened? By the way, what happened to Tariq Woolen? First couple years in the league, this guy was an absolute stud. Could not get by this guy. Tariq Woolen was an absolute monster. Then all of a sudden, Mike McDonald comes through, and Tariq Woolen can't play in this scheme at all. I did not know that cornerback skills were that were that dependent on scheme. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Tariq Woolen. I thought he was a really great player, but he just can't seem to get it together under Mike McDonald. Okay, now that being said, I think overall Mike McDonald, who obviously has a defensive coordinator roots, does have these guys working pretty well right now. And I do think that Seattle is in a really good position to succeed against New Orleans. Lots of sacks, lots of turnovers could be on the table here for Spencer Rattler and the boys. All right, finally, Atlanta, 5% rostership. 5% is Atlanta. And now Atlanta's defense overall, not very good. But, man, they're playing Carolina. Carolina just put 2 starting offensive linemen on IR. Bryce Young doesn't really have I don't know. How do I make this sound like not mean about Bryce Young? You know what I'm saying? Like, but he doesn't have great arm strength. He's not that mobile. Um, he's easy to bring down. I don't know. I would just say Atlanta taking on Carolina. Two offensive linemen, starting offensive linemen down for Carolina, and Bryce Young does not look good right now. Chat, am I wrong? Bryce Young, I mean, he's had moments, just like JJ McCarthy has had moments, but no one's out here saying JJ McCarthy's playing good football because he's not. Bryce Young, I don't think he's playing good football. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know the stat sheet says that he's playing good football. The eyeball test tells me he's not playing good football, man. That's what I'm going with. So overall, I think Atlanta is in a really good spot. 5% rostership. If you were looking for a streaming defense, shoot, if you're playing DFS, right? Atlanta DST, I think, should be pretty cheap overall. Not bargain basement, but pretty cheap overall. And I do think they have an opportunity to put a decent number up against Carolina. All right, man. We got the chat going here a little bit. Tony Liu, I trust Juwan Jennings in the flex position over Keenan Allen, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt. Juwan Jennings over JCM and Keenan Allen? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think you can trust Juwan Jennings in that flex over Keenan Allen and Ja'Cory. Keenan Allen is an interesting one. Krosky Merritt is also really interesting with the injury to Austin, but it's just kind of I don't know. That offense seems like it could be in a little bit of trouble with Jaden Daniels hurt. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I like Juwan Jennings. Whenever he's gotten an opportunity to play, he has performed and performed pretty well. So, Tony, I would say overall, yeah, I think you could trust Juwan over Keenan Allen. Austin Slaughter, worth holding onto Spears in IR, or should I put Reed on IR and pick up someone? Uh, I mean, that's kind of sort of what is the flavor here, right? Like, I think you could put Reed on the waiver wire. I don't think anyone's going to pick him up. I mean, he's out for over a month, almost 2 months. Hold on. Whoa, that one came out of nowhere. I usually sneeze in bunches here, so excuse me. Anyways, I don't think Jaden Reed is worth holding on to because he's going to be out for a long ass time. Tyjae Spears. It feels like a committee there too. I don't know. I don't. Again, even if he comes back, I don't. Just with Kalen Mullings there, they've got Chestnut there. I don't know. I don't think Spears is somebody that I'm even burning an IR spot on. To be honest with you here, Young looks like beginning of his rookie year. No, he actually doesn't look that bad. I think y'all are misremembering how bad Bryce Young looked his rookie season. Like literally the worst starting quarterback we've ever seen um, in the NFL, maybe ever. Right? I mean, obviously we've had some backups, but I'm talking about like first round pick getting out there. Horrible. Horrible. That's where he was. He's not there. He's not there. I'm just saying he doesn't look like he's like a top 15 quarterback in the NFL right now. You know what I'm saying? KV90, who's going to have a better season? Higgins or DJ Moore? T. Higgins or DJ Moore? Man, I'm going to go ahead and say T. Higgins because DJ Moore right now is the number 2 wide receiver in an offense that is not that great. Right? Rome Odunze has clearly taken over the mantle as the number 1. Right? DJ Moore is the number 2, and Caleb Williams is not playing great. Right? He's, again, another player, another young player, not playing good football. I don't care what the stats tell me. He's not playing good. Use your eyeballs. Not playing well. Right? So if that's the case, DJ Moore is, I don't know. And by the way, not for nothing, but DJ Moore, like, when Caleb was going through it, it's not like he was like super supportive. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was like caping up for his boy. You know? I think he had a career year with Justin Fields and was wondering why the hell did we move on from Justin Fields. So I just don't know if the chemistry is there. Right? I don't think that DJ Moore is like, oh, Caleb's my boy. I got to go I got to go pick him up. I don't see that, man. I don't see that. I think DJ Moore might be kind of sort of fed up with Caleb Williams, to be honest with you. When that happens, wide receivers tend to not get the ball. I mean, shoot, man. Speaking of Bryce Young, y'all remember Deontay Johnson? Bryce Young's career did not start taking off until they traded away Deontay Johnson. I'm not saying Chicago's going to trade away DJ Moore, but if they are invested in Caleb Williams, there's going to be some kind of come to Jesus moment between Caleb Williams and DJ Moore. And listen, I'm not putting DJ Moore in the same stratosphere as Deontay Johnson in terms of like head case. You know what I'm saying? Deontay obviously is like, yo, what is going on there? I'm just saying there needs to be some kind of team meeting or something, some kind of come together moment here between DJ Moore and Caleb Williams if they want that relationship to succeed. Dallas fan 72, you've got Terry, Nico, Ladd, Pickens. Hold on. Terry, Nico, Ladd, Pickens, Gibbs, Hall, Henderson. This is way too many people. You were offered Mike Evans, Connors for Nico. Mike Evans and Connors for Nico. What should I do? Um, it's a fair trade. I'm actually surprised because it's a fair trade. I would say I'm probably holding on to Nico. I'm probably holding on to Nico, to be honest with you, just because I feel like, again, if Connors gets hurt, what are we looking at here? Then you've made a straight up trade for Mike Evans for Nico. I don't know. I feel like Nico's season still has a lot of juice left in it, man. Skateboard Deep, Henderson or Tootin this week? I am going to go with Tootin. Actually, check on that for 1 second. Let me pull up my matchup sheet. Let me pull up the old matchup sheet. Where are we going? Jacksonville's taking on Houston. Houston's got a really good defensive line. You know what? Travion New England is taking on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh actually has a really good defense too. You know what? Because the matchups are about neutral, I would say go ahead. Let's go Tootin. Let's go Tootin. It's a neutral matchup, or between the two, it's a neutral matchup there. Okay. Brad McCoy on the YouTube side. Would you trade Amon-Ra and Fields for Jamar and Kyler? Well, yeah. I'm not worried about the Jamar. I know that there's some hand wringing in regards to the Bengals offense, but it's fine. I'm not saying Jake Browning is Joe Burrow. He's not. But for fantasy purposes, he's fine. Jamar's going to get fed a bunch of targets. He'll be fine. Yeah, I make that deal. And again, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do. But again, you're getting back two players that I think Jamar is a better fantasy asset than Amon-Ra, even with Browning. Fields is having a concussion right now. And Kyler is a startable, quarterback for you. So, yeah, I think I chase that upside, Brad. Why not, man? Augusto, would you trade? Wait, what? Okay, would you? I'm assuming you're saying would you trade Kamara and Ridley for Bucky? Would I trade Kamara and Ridley for Bucky? Yeah, I would do that. I would do that. Again, I think you're giving up too much, but I want to get the best player entering his prime in Bucky Irving. Among that group. You are giving up a lot though. But right now I don't have that much hope for Ridley. I thought he would do well, but there's some rookie quarterback issues right now, obviously, with Cam Ward. And again, I honestly thought that there wasn't going to be that much target competition, and yet there is a lot of target competition with Alec Iomanner, man. So yeah. I'm not feeling that great about Ridley right now. KV90, should we sell high on Dalton Kincaid or hold? Yeah, I want to sell high. Look, Dalton Kincaid is going to be very hit or miss. I'm not honestly KV90. I'm not sure why he was being drafted so high in the first place. So long as Dawson Knox is out there, Kincaid is going to be stymied, man. They're throwing to 17 different guys there in Buffalo, bro. Like, I don't feel any kind of confidence in regards to Dalton Kincaid. If you can get something back, something of value back for Kincaid, I would absolutely do that and just stream tight end. It's Ted. Should I give up on McLaurin and Mike Evans? No, don't give up on McLaurin. Don't give up on Mike Evans. McLaurin's going to have a slow start. He obviously missed training camp with the holdout. That's fine. Let's see where Jaden Daniels is at after a couple of weeks. That being said, I don't think either one, well, I don't think McLaurin's a must start. I'll say that. He's in wide receiver three territory right now, but I would not give up on McLaurin, no. Mike Evans, I mean, he's had a somewhat of a slow start here, but no, don't give up on him either. He's fine. Just like visually, I think he's fine. Baker's going to find him. Mike Evans is going to have a huge week. It might be this week. I think Mike Evans has a bounce back this week. He can't go this many games without seeing like legitimate red zone targets and scoring. So I definitely would not give up on Mike Evans. To me, he's still a top 15 wide receiver, a must play each and every week. Would you drop Braylon for Wicks? Yeah, I would. Braylon Allen is a really nice complementary backup running back, but that's it. That is it. He's not going to get work out of the passing game. And if you play, I'm assuming you play PPR because everyone plays some form of PPR. But especially if you play PPR, Braylon, I think to me doesn't really have that much value. Eagles defense or Falcons? Eagles. Who are the Eagles taking on? Eagles are taking on the Rams. Okay, so the Eagles taking on the Rams, and the Falcons, as I talked about, taking on Carolina. The Eagles have a better real life defense. I like the matchup for the Falcons better. So maybe being a little crazy here because I think most people would say Eagles. But I kind of sort of like the Falcons, to be honest with you, in this matchup. I do wonder. Stafford's obviously pretty statuesque, and man, this defensive line does get home quite a bit. So I don't know. I am a little bit torn on that one, to be honest with you. Honestly, I think the safer play is Philadelphia. If you want to chase a little bit more upside with turnovers and such, go ahead and give me Atlanta. All right, we're getting down to it, y'all. We are getting down to it. Let me rip through some of these questions real quick, and then I got to call it a day. All right, C. Fritas, Dobbins or Chuba? I think Chuba for me. Bird City, Charbonnet or JCM? JCM. JCM for sure. This is from, but I hate this update. Is Quorum worth getting with Kyron Williams struggling? Quorum is still not getting any playing time unless they're in a blowout or Kyron Williams gets hurt. So I would say, is he worth picking up? Yes, because Kyron Williams is already a somewhat injury-prone running back. If he's available on the waiver wire, yes, I would stash him, but I wouldn't play him quite yet. C. Fritas, how do you feel about Harvey? I like RJ Harvey there in Denver, but man, they're running three running backs out there right now. I'm not really, and that's a Sean Payton special. I don't think, where we are right now, I don't think he's going to overtake J.K. Dobbins unless Dobbins gets hurt. Now, that being said, he had a fully healthy season last year somehow, some way, but we know that Dobbins gets hurt a lot. So yeah, Harvey is another player that I would absolutely stash and hold. And let's just wait and see what happens with J.K. Dobbins. But we can't play R.J. Harvey right now. All right, let's recap here, and then we got to get the hell on out of here. Let's talk about the deep waiver wire guys, free agent pool dudes that should be available for you, and that could have some value this week and moving forward. All right, at quarterback we got Mac Jones. Wide receiver, we got a bunch of wide receivers. Troy Franklin, I love his slot role there in Denver. Wan'Dale Robinson has a wonderful matchup this week against Kansas City. Kansas City gives up a ton of production to inside wide receivers, and Wan'Dale Robinson has been lighting up, baby, over the last couple of weeks. Dontavian Wicks, another slot player. As you guys could tell, I look for little hidden gems in the slot. Dontavian Wicks taken over for Jaden Reed, has inside and outside versatility. I do think he could be on the football field in two wide receiver sets with Romeo Doubs. That's why I really like Dontavian Wicks. Let's just see what we get there in Green Bay. And finally, Jalen Coker at wide receiver, stash and add to IR, then pick up another guy. You know what I mean? Jalen Coker is an interesting ad because I think when he does get off the IR, I think he will be heavily utilized along with Ted McMillan. I think it's going to be Jalen Coker, Ted McMillan, Hunter Renfrow. I think those will be your three wide receivers that get work. Xavier Legette, unfortunately, I think is trending towards being a first-round bust. I don't know. We'll see. All right, two streaming defenses here. Seahawks defense. Again, Mike McDonald has these guys working well. They're taking on New Orleans. And finally, Falcons defense. Really interesting matchup against Carolina. Carolina has two starting offensive linemen on IR right now. I think the Falcons generate pretty good pressure up front. That could be creating havoc, I tell you, for the Carolina offense. And as we know, Bryce Young, not so good under pressure. Not so good about getting away either. So Falcons defense is a really, really good streaming option there for you. All right, man. That's it, man. I've been going way too long over here, y'all. I love chatting with y'all, man. But we'll see you here next week. Remember, it's never ever too late to chase your dreams. Now, if you guys want to ask me questions, you see it on the bottom of your screen right here. Pop, 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 pop at James D. Co on any social media platform. I do a pretty good job of answering questions. I'm really trying to build up my Instagram following right now. If y'all want to follow me there and shoot me a DM, I promise you I will get back to you. I promise you, unless their algorithm cuts that message out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you I'll get back to you, brother. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys next week. All right, peace.